start off, we're going to take this is a Shumakoff Summer Arrow tube, and it's just a weighted brass tube that's going to go on the inside of the tubing here is going to go on the inside of that. And we want that protruding just a little bit past the nose of that tube, and we're just going to melt that back onto the lining onto the tube. I'm going to go ahead and lock in our tube here in the vise, and I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room here in the front to tie the stuff on. So we're going to use some GSP, and this is red, and I'm going to start right behind this tube, right on the liner, and just build up a little taper there. Alright, the first thing that we're going to tie on is going to be our ice wing. This is Pearl UV. Just going to grab a little chunk of it. We'll double this up so you don't need to pull out a ton. So you basically want the length to be about double of what the natural you're trying to imitate. Okay, I'm going for about 3 inches, so this is about a 6-inch long hank of this ice wing. And what I'll do is just going to take and put it right in the middle where I want this, and I want that back towards the back side of my tube, and I'm going to tie in a couple of little wraps, and then we'll go ahead and fold the second one back over the first, and then just put a couple of wraps on top of that. Ultimately, we want this to be angling up a little bit, like so. Okay, now I'm going to tie in some of this Fly Tires Dungeon Northern Lights, just for a little lateral line. Nothing fancy. A couple strands is all you need. And we're going to tie on our top layer, which is just some superfine flash, and this is a gold purple hue. Yeah, it's just a contrast to what we have with the underside of this imitation. And I'm just going to do the same thing. Tie in at the halfway point, and then fold this back over itself like so, and then just tie that off. Alright, now the final piece here, I'm going to be using some blue Fly Tires Dungeon Congo hair. This is going to be a shad, and the shad sometimes have little streaks of blue in them. So again, doing the same thing, and this time just right up here next to the head. Tie it in at the halfway point, bend that back, and there we have that. Okay, now the next step, we're just going to build up a little head right before this tube. And I'm going to whip finish. Then what I'll do here is just kind of gauge the length that I want this, and I give it a little cut and a little bit of a taper. Like so. Now I'm going to apply the eyes, 3D asymmetrical guys. Right, now once I've got my eyes in place. Final step is to add some of my clear cure goo, and this will build up the head. Okay, then as a final step, I'm going to zap it with the light to cure it. And there we go. There's our completed minnow.